Today I'm going to show you how to transfer your houseplant step by step from normal houseplant soil into pon. And if you're interested and you want to know more about that, keep on watching. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a UK houseplant lover with over 150 houseplants in my one-bedroom flat in London. If you want to follow along my journey on YouTube, which just recently started, hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. I have this Monstera mint, which is absolutely gorgeous, and it's in soil. And you clearly can see it has outgrown its pot so much. So I thought, to make my life easier, and it's leading up to summer and the temperatures are rising, and I don't want to water it every day, I will be transferring this Monstera from soil into pon with a semi-hydro setup. Again, really quick, what is pon? Pon is a mineral-based substrate, so there is no soil in it. And it is short called for product of nature, and I'm still mind blown that I did not know that before. Pon has the perfect oxygen to water ratio, so that means that it's very unlikely that you can overwater your plants, which can cause root rot unless you fully submerge the whole pot in water, which we don't want. But if you want to know more about pon, please check out my last video, which I will link at the end of this video, where I'm going to dive in deep all things about pon. But for now, let's start to repot this beautiful Monstera mint. Okay, I just set up my table with my beautiful potting mat to transfer the Monstera mint into pon, and what we need for that is a nursery pot, which is around 1 to 2 centimeters wider than the current cup or pot. Then we have a decorative pot, which will be our water reservoir. We need some water to clean the roots from all the organic matter, aka the soil. We have our Coarse semi-hydro from Soil Ninja, because we learned as thicker the roots are, as more coarse the pon needs to be. And the last thing is normal brush, which is already quite been used, so we can brush off the soil from the roots without damaging the roots. I'm just using a little container to dump all the soil into there, so it's super easy. First thing we're going to do is we are going to remove as much soil with our hands as possible without damaging the roots. So I'm just trying whatever breaks off really easily without really getting into the roots. Let's do that. I do hope it will grow so big and strong this year. It's a really tiny one. You can see that we removed by hand as much of the soil as we could. The next step is I will soak this into nice lukewarm water, and I'm just going to easily swirl it a little bit. You know, if you have really stubborn bits where there is still soil on the roots, just keep it soaking for 20 minutes. It is very important that you remove all of the soil from the roots. There shouldn't be anything left. I personally would rather cut off the roots and let it regrow into pon, because soil is an organic matter and it stays a lot more wet than pon, obviously. This little part of your root where soil is still attached to, it is very likely it's going to rot. We don't want the bacteria in your setup, especially if you have a water reservoir in there, where then the bacteria multiplies and can cause your plant to die. This Monstera has been soaking for a few minutes, so now we're going to take it out, and as you can see, there is still some soil left. The water didn't remove all of the soil, so we have to go in with a brush and then just lightly, very gently brush it away. It's a usual plastic, very basic brush, and we're going to start. I normally work my way up from the bottom to the top of the plant. This is one of the most important steps you have to do when transferring your plant into pond. Most people don't do it, and then they're wondering why pond doesn't work for them. Another way which you easily can transfer your plant into pond is if you just take a cutting and then you propagate it in water, and then you already have water roots grown, and then you just put it up straight away into the self-watering pot, because the root and the plant is already used to the water. Doing one root at a time. You can wet it as well a little bit, just to clean it all off. We'll dip it in water again. How much I have removed already. Very likely going to lose some of those small secondary roots, and that's fine. They will just regrow. I really love pond because it makes my life so much easier. Some of you may not know, but I work as a pastry chef during the daytime, and yeah, sometimes I just don't have the energy anymore after a 12-hour shift to water my plants every day, especially in summer. My flat gets super hot. I have south-facing windows and I cannot open the windows. I don't have an air conditioning as well, so... Which doesn't mean I don't love my plants. It's just plant care made easy. But there's a little bit of girl plant math. If you spend less time on caring for your plants, but they're still thriving, you can have more plants. So now I quickly will put this through running water, and then I will be back. So that's my process on how to remove all of the soil on the roots without extremely damaging them or cutting them off. Of course, if I needed to cut them off, I would. And now we're going to put it in my DIY semi-hydro setup. Here you can see now that the roots are ready to be transferred into pond. There is no soil left anymore. We're going to start with our nursery pot. Make sure there are some holes in there so the water actually can go through. I'm going to check how deep I can put up the Monstera. Monsteras, they are very thirsty and they do love semi-hydro. A good beginner tip if you start your self-watering journey with your plants is you're going to mark out where your water reservoir starts. Thumb rule I go is it's 1/3 of the pot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use a marker and I just mark where the water reservoir is going. So this is the water level I'm going to fill it when I'm going to put it in the decorative pot as a guideline. As I mentioned before, we're going to use the Coarse semi-hydro mix from Soil Ninja, which is here. This mix is really good for thicker roots, as you can see. Those are thick boys and they will get thicker. So we're going to use our guideline, and that's where we fill the first layer of pond into the pot without putting the plant in there. That's our water reservoir. So we have it filled to this level, and now we're going to put our plant, our beautiful Monstera, into that. I'm not attaching a moss pole yet. I probably will do at some point because I really want her to grow very big this year. So I have even less space in my 1-bedroom flat. I basically just push the stem down into the middle. It is straight. You have to play around with the roots a little bit so they are nicely tucked in. So what we're going to do is we're just going to top up the whole pot with the pond mix. And that's already it. It's all topped up. It's super easy. The cue to repot it is when you can start seeing the roots coming out at the bottom. So we're going to give it a good shake and a good tap. The last step is we're going to fill this pot with water up to this level. That's it. That was my super quick step-by-step guide on how to transition your houseplants from soil to pond and to a semi-hydro setup. If you have any more questions about this method, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, I would love if you would subscribe and join my journey here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.